Hey, Total Schmidt Show. Let's do this. Total Schmidt Show Season 3 is upon us. Tune in every week. I talk to entertainers from all over the world. Singers, dancers, comics, musicians, drummers, blah, blah, blah. All kinds. Techs, even some cruise directors. Most of the entertainers I talk to work on cruise ships. If you ever wanted to know what entertainers do, how they get through their day, any of the behind-the-scenes stuff about entertaining, we'll talk about that stuff here, as well as we'll delve into some of the entertainers and some of their works, some of their albums coming up, some of the things they've done in the past, things you can look forward to in the future. All that stuff you can catch here on Total Schmidt Show. But either way, get yourself a pizza, a beer, some bourbon, light up a cigar, or some sort of joint, or whatever type of crutch or vice you need to get through the evening, and sit back and enjoy whatever it is I put together this week on Schmidt Show. You're welcome. Hey guys, Total Schmidt Show. Thanks for tuning in this week. Jerome is my guest. Jerome. He's a Carnival legend. An institution. Is that the right word? I'm not sure. But we'll get to that in a second. Thanks for being here. Do me a favor, subscribe to the podcast if you can. That helps me out a bunch. Like me on the socials, Mr. Lenny Schmidt. All that. This sounds lame. Blah, blah, blah. Like me, whatever. Go to LennySchmidt.com and you can get all the information you need right there. Tune in, subscribe to the website. You can subscribe to my website for free. Just click below the member button. You can also join a couple of different packages. One is the Total Schmidt Show podcast package, which you get all videos of this episode and some extra content for just $2 a month. What? $2 a month or $20 a year? Look at that discount. That's less than 50 cents an episode. It would be crazy if you not to take that package. Also, there's other things there you could do to support Total Schmidt Show and the Lenny Schmidt Comedy Network. Feel free. We'll take your money anyway. Go to LennySchmidt.com, hit the pay if you can button, and there's a bunch of options there for you to support this channel. Jerome is a good friend of mine that I've worked with many, many times. Another Southern California local comic, sort of. Well, we both live in the California area. So we used to work together quite a bit when we were doing the ships out of Long Beach. Now we seem to be all over the place. But I was lucky enough to run into him not too long ago on, I don't know where we were. I forgot. I think we were on the Liberty. Maybe? Could be. No, the Valor. We were on the Valor. That's where we were. We were on the Valor. So I got to sit down with Jerome. We talked about a whole bunch of stuff, some pretty cool stuff. He travels all over the world. He's been a comic for years. He's been with Carnival. Ooh, pretty long time. Folks, sit back and listen to my conversation with my good friend Jerome.
And therein lies the humor.
That's all right. By the time it's done and online, it'll be fucking... I'll fix it in post. That's what I'll do.
Sometimes people like the raw tackiness.
Yeah, dude. Most of my followers, they're always like, dude, this is all messed up and this is wrong. And, when I used to do this live, they used to get on live and they would walk me through it. They go, no sound. Oh, thanks, man. I check the cord. You know what I mean? They saved my ass a bunch of times. So,
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, well, because I learned everything. I dive right in and just do it and then screw it up and then fix it. That's kind of how I do everything. Which might be why I'm in the situation I'm in.
And that makes great video for the future. Great bloopers.
Yeah, I got to put one of those together, dude. The first season I did that COVID show, and I got to put a bunch of those together. There's one where John DeCrosser was watching, and I used to get backdrops and stuff, and the whole backdrop came down on top of me. And in the back, you see my daughter cooking in the kitchen, and she looks over. I thought DeCrosser was going to have a heart attack. He's laughing so hard. It was the best. That's great. Go. So how you doing, brother?
This podcast on a budget. I'm doing all right, man. Can't complain too much. Well, I can't complain, but I won't.
Yeah, nobody listens anyway, man.
Yeah, for real.
Dude, good to see you, man. I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah.
It's always nice to run into somebody I know in the ships now, man. There's so many different guys out here. You get out. I get
to meet somebody you know and you can hang out and have a rapport.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Got something in common with. Plus, we're both from California.
Yeah.
On the East Coast or Midwest.
In LA. And my house did not burn down. Thank you very much, everybody.
Good for you.
People ask, is your house okay? Yeah, I'm way away from the house. I don't live in Pacific Palisades. I'm not in a $3 million house.
Oh, you sold that property?
Yeah, I sold that property just so I could be in a 4x4 cabin.
4x4? Bragger. Look at this cabin. One thing that's cool in this cabin, I will say, is that they made this bed bigger. That's the one thing that I like. I like a big bed. I'll take that. I mean, I got to tiptoe around this cabin all day, but I'll do it.
Gigantic bed, which is
that's fine.
2 inches from each each end of the bed.
And I've kicked it like
He
19 times, but I don't care because if I can sleep comfortably, dude, that's all I give a shit about. The only other thing about it I always say is like I need a desk space. This has been a little bit tough to work around. You know what I mean? Because they add it. But then a lot of times I bring my stuff upstairs, like we were talking about the cabin. I want to get out of here.
Yeah.
You see me up there in the Lido deck working a lot.
Yeah,
so.
you get the I'm not in the room much at all anyway.
Right.
I put the do not disturb sign so people don't just come in and mess. I don't like when folks just like the steward comes in and just makes the bed and stuff. I'm like, I don't like nobody.
Oh, really?
Just leave it like that because the sheet's gonna be messed up anyway in a minute.
Oh.
And then I have my suitcase. If it's a big bed, I put my suitcase on half of it because I don't need much space to sleep. As weird as it sounds.
Oh, right on.
So I pull my stuff out of the suitcase and live out of the.
No, I need a lot of room on the bed, man. I need some room. But I'll get them to come in here like once a week. How long you been out here? You've been out here a long time, bro. Before me. Your crew ID number starts with the 2.
Yeah, I'm a dinosaur. Yeah. I think I was some of the safety officer guys. Oh, you're a legend. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Legend in my own mind. Yeah, I've been doing the ships since probably '95. It was the Premier Cruise Lines, the Big Red Boats, Dolphin Cruise Lines, Norwegian Princess, and I started doing Carnival in when was that? 1999.
Wow. All right.
That first year, because Carnival you can fly in and out. The other cruise lines you were there for the whole cruise, and they would like you to stay for several cruises. So there was one time I was on one ship, a Norwegian, for 8 weeks in a row.
Right.
And I was on there so long, from Boston to Bermuda, and we were in Bermuda. We would just dock for 3 days and just be in Bermuda.
Right.
So I would just leave out and come back 3 days later, and I started hanging out with these strippers.
Oh, that's cool.
And then,
that's
cool. I hope I'm not getting in trouble. That was way back then.
Yeah.
Don't get them arrested.
That's when you were a young man, too.
Yeah.
When you could do that stuff.
And then, so I would hang out with them. They said, well, because I was at the karaoke there in Bermuda, and this, one of the karaoke hosts liked me.
Yeah.
And she was like, we do this little underground stripping thing. I want you to come and hang out,
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, just hang with the ladies and be like our bodyguard. I said, a bodyguard, I ain't no big old dude. Says, you don't have to be, just be there for the image, pick up your bra or whatever. I'm like, all right. So I was hanging out with them, and she said, we'll pay you. I said, all right.
So you were the muscle.
Gig. Yeah.
You were the muscle guy. Did you just stand there cross-armed with the sunglasses? Just walk
Oh,
in?
no, just stand there with my a T-shirt. Yeah, I should have. All right, folks, you don't want to mess with me.
Well, that makes sense. They don't want to show up alone. No, that's there's always a guy with them. At least that I've heard.
Yeah, I'll be MMA before MMA gets started.
But that's cool, man, because that Bermuda stop, a lot of the ships still do a multi-day stop in Bermuda.
Yeah.
Like I've done a few of those. Norwegian does a 3-day there, and I've done a few of those. I would be cool if you could leave. I don't know if you can do this anymore. Just leave for 3 days and come back.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Back then in the old days, you could do that stuff.
Yeah, older, yeah. You probably can do that now. I'm not sure. We probably could.
I think sometimes every once in a while they had a show scheduled, and I'd be like, why do we have shows scheduled at night in Bermuda? But if you think about it, honestly, most of the time on these ships now, a lot of these people stay on the ships at night. There's these all you can drink packages and free, and the food's paid for.
Some people do stay on.
And Bermuda's an expensive port to go out and wine and dine in. So people just go, I'm going to go back to the ship and eat dinner or whatever. And sleep there. It's, I guess.
When I did it, there was no shows that night. Actually, when I did it, it was just like some of the other cruise lines. You do just 2 shows. We did the Welcome Aboard show and then the farewell show at the end. Welcome Aboard in the beginning, farewell at the end, and everything else was no shows.
Wow, really?
So just the 2 shows, 2 clean shows, and
yeah.
So you had all your time, just whatever.
Well, dude, that's where you made your money on these ships, and you still do is the clean shows. Like I know they're bringing more adult shows into all the lines are doing that. Like I do, Celebrity does a lot of them now. I heard Holland started doing them. I don't work for Holland, but I heard that they were going to do them. Princess also.
They're going to have to because people are.
Everybody wants,
like,
But you still got to do the clean shows.
Yeah, you got to have that.
And the problem they have, or the only problem is sometimes guys come on and they can't do 30 or 40, 45 clean. That's the hard.
Yeah.
Like Princess used to have the hardest structure because you had to have two clean 45-minute shows, which you could probably do. You know what I mean? And other guys struggle with that though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's hard really if you think about it to come up with 2, especially if you're younger.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You run out of gas, and then you're like, oh, what's going on? And especially if it's at a time where a whole lot of people are not there, maybe the show's a little too late.
Right.
So, 90% of the people are in bed, and you got people scattered out in the theater.
Yeah.
But you got to,
well, suddenly you're doing 60 minutes of material in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, 60 minutes of material in 15 minutes.
Yeah. This is a time suck.
Yeah.
Walking into a black hole.
You could do like Denny Johnston. You know Denny Johnston?
Yeah.
This is what he would do. He had if I'm not mistaken, he had 37 and a half or 39 and a half minutes.
Okay.
Killer act.
Right.
But it was boom, perfectly timed. Had that minute. And the clubs would be like, oh, you got to do 45. You got to do 45. He says, I have 37 and a half. Or was it 39 and a half minutes? That's what I have.
Right.
He says, no, you got to do 45. And then Jenny Johnson, I heard that the legend is, he says, okay. And then he would just talk slower.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. There you go. That's good, though.
Yeah.
That's smart, though, because I have a tendency I talk too fast, especially on stage. And it was Jerry Seinfeld that said you can never tell a joke slow enough. And there's a little part in my mind where I'm like, they're going to figure it out before I get there. There's like, I
gotta hit him.
Yeah,
I'm going to lose the crowd,
Yeah, well, I think they're going to figure out the punchline. In my mind, there's this thing someone's going to figure it out, but they never do. You do it so much,
Yeah, and they go along with the story.
Yeah, and a lot of times I'll just pause and let dead air lay for a few seconds. Just to slow myself down. I have a tendency to just talk. I'm
the same way. I go, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, why am I talking so fast? I'll play it back. I said, no, I'm talking too fast. Let me enunciate this.
Yeah, enunciation is a big.
It doesn't sound like this word I'm supposed to say.
I started doing enunciation exercises before the show, like for 4 minutes right before the show backstage.
Okay.
Just bounce out some words and just slowly say some stuff. But to this day, I'll still, and we do so many shows. It's just a lot of shows. I'll tape a show, listen to it, and I'll go, why the fuck am I talking so fast?
Yeah,
I don't
what's
need
the
to
rush?
do that. Yeah, there's no. And a lot of times I'll run right over a couple of punchlines or laughs, especially crowd stuff. I go, why didn't I just pause there? I could have just stopped. That was a laugh.
Yeah, you get the applause you're gonna get, or get the extra laughs you're gonna get.
Yeah.
But then again, with these short attention span with these phones, if you talk slower, they have time to scan their phones and go through their Instagram.
Well, not
posts.
just that, but a lot of I was talking to Shar about this backstage, especially now with the spring break crowd and stuff. This younger generation, they see all the social media is loaded with comics, but it's all crowd work. So people come in wanting to get roasted. They'll go, roast me.
Yeah,
and you're like, I don't really roast
like,
people.
Hey, I got jokes, I got material.
Yeah, but I've learned, like, I work the crowd and work it into the act. But like a good comic, I was just talking to somebody about this yesterday. A good comic makes written material look like crowd work.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like Rob Williams was brilliant at it.
Yeah,
there's a long list of guys. Ian Bagg might be the best at it in the whole world out of Canada. But there's a lot of guys that the really good part is to play the room, work the room, take what they're giving you, mix in something that you wrote, and make it look like you created a story right there on the spot. You know what I mean? And that's how to get them. But it's not roasting, and it's not really crowd. That's not crowd work. I don't call it crowd work.
Yeah,
I call it working a crowd.
And you incorporate them into your show.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between crowd work and working a crowd. Like crowd work is where are you from? What are you doing?
Yeah,
and even sometimes that might be a setup, or you might have a direction to go somewhere. I always ask someone's name, and I always give them applause. You know what I mean? I do that with everyone. That just kind of gets them on my side.
Yeah, gets them on your side, exactly.
And then the crowd knows them, and then they're especially on the ships. Then people know them all week.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, it's Sydney. It's this girl this week I've been talking.
Yeah. And if you can be conversational, that makes it flow. Like you're talking to somebody in your living room. I learned that from Bobby Slayton.
Yeah.
Bobby Slayton, the pit bull of comedy.
Yeah, right
Yeah,
on.
he would go and he would just do his act, and he's just like, hey, I went over here. This woman come over here. He's talking to me, and I'm talking to her. He's just like, boom, he's in his living room just talking to his friends.
Yeah, it's like you're sitting around talking to your grandfather.
Bam, and he delivers this perfect.
Right. And he makes it, that's the art of the performance, of live performance, of like live comedy, not like digital. Which is a guy like you who's been around for a long time to learn that. You know what I mean? And it's great sometimes when the crowd backs into one of your bits. You know what I mean? They'll go bang. Yeah, you're like, oh, sweet.
Like I have certain bits just only if there's kind of woman that's really overly heckling. Yeah, I have a whole piece for it. It used to be a bit in my act. It's like about the Terminator thing, when somebody says something, I go into it. It's like, oh, it's genius. He just came up with that. I'm like, yes, I just came up with that. But
you're like, no, I've been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah, it worked out big with sound effects. Oh, it's funny. He had sound effects and lighting and everything.
Wow,
dancing girls.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Hula hoop people
off the top of your head.
Fire and flames. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, where that came from.
Yeah, but that's the brilliant part about it. That's a great feeling when you see somebody. It's a great feeling when you see somebody heading in that direction with the crowd. Yeah. And then you kind of lead them that way. When you kind of go, so you were in the parking lot. Wherever you needed to get them. Well, yeah, we're in the parking lot. You go, that's interesting. I was in the parking lot.
Yeah. Speaking of parking lots. But it's the worst. It was if a comic, I forgot who the comic I work with, he was doing a repeat show. And he would tell people, hey, it's a repeat show. They said that before. I always tell a comic, if you're going to repeat a show, if you're on a cruise ship, because you get the same audience. Yeah. You have to personally tell them. You can't wait for the host to tell them. You have to personally say, look, hey, you seeing me today, right now?
Yeah.
2 hours from now, don't come back.
Yeah, I
Same
do
stuff.
that every. Yeah, I do it.
Because if
in
you
the-
don't,
yeah.
they come back because they had that good feeling. And one comic saying he was doing his thing, and the audience was saying, "You said that yesterday. You did that joke already." He kept saying, "He's like,
Oh,
look."
really?
He says,
Ooh.
"Look, I told you this is a repeat show."
Yeah, I told you. You got to tell them up front.
Yeah.
Well, also, if you're going to repeat a show, like this is a mistake that some lines make or other places make, like, and they're bouncing sketches around us. So I know it's hard as live entertainment, but if you're going to repeat a show, you just do it the same night. That's why I
Yeah.
like that. The Vista line, the Vista Panorama,
Yeah.
and the what's the third one on that mix? The Horizon. Those three ships, I think, have the best schedule in the world because if you do the PG show, you repeat it. You know what I mean? And then
right that same night.
and you do the same 2 adult shows. That's
Yeah.
smart. And then
And they're like an hour between, so the people that are leaving more than likely not going to go back in line and get back and see
yeah,
it
because
again.
they're going to go
gonna
do some other stuff, or they're going to come see your show, the adult show, later that night.
Yeah.
And then when I close, they go, "I have another show at 8:30. It's the same show. Don't come back."
Yeah.
And I'll go put Jerome's on tonight. He's got the adult show. If you want to see swearing, come back tonight. Tomorrow, whatever we
Yeah.
get it set up. But that's the best way to do it. Is if you're going to repeat, do it the same night. Because think about it. I mean, these people, nobody's reading the schedule and looking for the asterisks.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Yeah, for real. They don't know what the asterisk is anyway.
Right.
Repeat show. They think that's the name of the show. Repeat show. That's one of his bits. Hey, do the repeat show bit.
Dude,
you
the
know,
repeat show's great, man. I love that repeat
Yeah.
show. It's a whole new show. It's, no,
Yeah.
it's the same show. No, that's the repeat show.
Yeah, they have no clue. And it's funny when you see this it was flattering, and it's kind of weird at the same time when somebody saw you on another ship, and it was like last month.
Yeah.
And they said, "Yeah, we saw you last month." I'm like, "Uh-oh." I
Yeah.
said, "What show did you see?" You know,
Yeah.
"Oh, we saw all of them." I said, "Uh-oh, well, I better write some jokes quick." "Oh, no, we won't remember. It was good. We won't remember." I
Yeah,
said, until I get to the middle of it, you're like, "Yeah, you did. We did hear this already."
I get people to see me all the time for like a year earlier, or they'll be like, "Were you on the whatever like in August?" I go, "Yeah," and they go, "Yeah, we saw you." I go, "Oh God, did you enjoy the show?" And they go, "Yeah," because that's why I would do the crowd stuff. I kind of mix it up a
Yeah.
little bit and kind of mix, and I
makes it
also
all different,
turn
yeah.
over a lot of shit. And
Yeah.
plus, you got a lot of material.
Yeah.
You're one of those guys that really has the 5 shows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it doesn't matter. You can work around.
And I can do it, yeah, and I don't have to repeat. And some things you can stretch.
Yeah.
You know, like I do this singing bit with the boy bands and Boys to Men and the Backstreet Boys. I can make that long if I want to sing
Right.
longer.
Yeah.
Or I do with Michael Jackson. I just make the dance longer because it's
Yeah.
just a loop. It's just ad lib.
Yeah, or
So
you
you
read
can
the
always
room, and
kinda
if it's
stretch the
working,
things. Yeah.
or if you got the right crowd for it, like a lot of the stuff I do about my daughters and the phones, I didn't even do that bit this week. I don't think. Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, I never got to it, man. Yeah, it was. Anyway, it's you look at the crowd, and I'll get 10 minutes into it, and I'll go, "Oh, this crowd's perfect for this bit."
Yeah.
Then I'll change what I was gonna do. And then just go, well, I'm going to do this bit about my daughter's birthday. And bam. It's especially with the 20-year-old, like I have 20-year-old daughters, so 20-year-old girls in the room. That's why I
Yeah,
kind
they'll
of do
get
well
that,
with
yeah.
them. Yeah, like I can talk to them. And they'll laugh at me. You know what I mean? Because usually they don't stare at you like you're
Yeah.
an old man.
Yeah,
like a
this
creepy
guy-
old man.
They don't get his sketches.
What's this guy? He's just
Too
like-
antiquated. I was not born then.
These bits are stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. What's a cassette player?
Yeah, exactly. I remember, and this was years ago, I was selling these CDs, and it was doing the family show, and this was more than 10 years ago. And I said, "Ladies and gentlemen, I have this CD," and there was a 5-year on the front that honestly said, "What's that?" And the crowd went nuts.
Oh, that's
I
great.
was
That's
like,
beautiful.
well, you know, this is before downloads. We had actually before this, we had actually big albums we used to put on one at a time.
Yeah.
You did? Yeah, it's funny how you get the different age groups, and you explain this, and it's something you build. I build it into my act, how I explain to it, like I talk about how a pager used to be a big deal
Right,
before
right.
cell phones. And I asked, you know what a pager? They have no idea what a pager is.
Right.
I was like, you know, the pager's got this, you know, it's like you have before you had you clip this thing on before the cell phone, you clip it on your belt. And then you get a phone call with this gadget, and it will beep up, beep, beep, and you can go to a phone booth. And I look at the kid, you know what a phone booth is, and everybody.
It just keeps going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I got a bit like that too. The more you explain it, the farther back you're going.
Yeah.
You're like, it's like a rotary phone. What's a rotary phone? Oh, I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Blah, blah, blah.
And-
But there's when I used to sell merch, I got download cards with me, but they don't move very well. And it's hard to move them on the ship. But I would do a bit about, because I used to do CDs and then go back and do a little backwards, all the way to cassettes.
Yeah, I used to have
8-tracks.
cassettes. And a comedian Stanley Albany was like, "Jerome, you still selling those 1929 cassettes?" I'm like, "Yeah, they're still selling, man." And then I went to CDs, and then when the pandemic hit, I didn't sell nothing because I didn't want people breathing on me after the show. So I was even now a lot of
skip
times
it.
I go behind the curtain.
Right.
But I got to bring some merch back. But yeah, But yeah, people are doing the download cards now because I guess nobody's getting the CDs anymore.
I can't put the down. I can't move them well. I just can't figure out how to move them. You know what I'm gonna do is I got my last 2 specials. I think I'm gonna put them on USB drive and put them in a package box. People like to buy something to take home.
Yeah, they want to feel it.
Yeah, that's like a CD. I sold a ton of CDs when I was on a ship. I used to do really well. Then the cards came out and I was pumped. I go, oh, there's so much more compact. You know, that's like 1,000 CD or cards or whatever. But they don't move that well. But then carrying in the CDs, it's like you need another suitcase. Or if you were gone for a long time, you had to have merch sent to you. I used to order CDs, have them dropped off at clubs and stuff.
I used to do T-shirts.
Yeah, see, those would
those
move.
are big and heavy, but I would move a lot of those years and years ago.
You can't sell those, not here. Some other lines let you move
could,
merch, like shirts, if some lines. But a lot of lines, because it's got to be a playable or it's got to be something to do. Yeah. But in a club... like there's a ton of guys that sell guys make a lot of money,
especially if it's got some kind of theme on it.
Oh yeah, it ties in your act. Yeah, of course.
Boom. Because who was the guy that was like killing the merch, selling like $1 million a year he's making? This was like 20, 30 years ago. He just died, I heard.
Oh really?
What does he say? He's from the South. He says it might be a law. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name. He's a legend, and I should remember him.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's been around for a long time.
Yeah,
he's one of the Southern guys. All the Southern guys. He's one of the hero from the South. You know what I mean? He's like the guy they look up to.
And he had all these catchphrases,
right?
And all these all the merch that go with his catchphrases.
So right? That's so smart.
And,
if you can, imagine the money he made back then doing that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's hard to do that stuff now. Now that everything is digital and there's online stuff, you got to get people to physically go online to your website.
So I'm thinking, well, I don't have a digital card, but I want to do a digital card where they can download and probably just have your picture or something that's physically you can give to them. Say, here's a 5x7 or whatever,
right?
And I'll sign it, and maybe it glows in the dark.
Yeah, something cool.
Something
well, the
tangible.
wristband thing works out if you do, but I don't know if they let you do them here anymore. But
I'm not sure.
Some wristbands have some wrist. You know what Billy D does, or he was doing? He had a wristband with a QR code.
Yeah, that's even better.
And I think he just gave him away, where you could go and check out his last special, and it drove traffic to his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So that's pretty smart.
Yeah,
that's really smart. But then a lot of it now has got to be like USB based. It's got to be like this seems to be the next step that people. You know what I wanted to do, which I could do. I'm trying to because I tape a lot of shows.
Yeah,
it's harder. It's almost harder to do this in a way. I always thought about there's a way I could tape a show and then print it and get it on USBs and sell it the next day. Like if I was on a ship, I go, if you want to see last night's show, I'll sell it to you. But then I don't think that works with the lines either. That kind of steps on their brand and other stuff. You know what I mean? It's doable.
No, if it's your own thing and you're selling, I think that should be okay. But then again, with some of the lines, you have to have it approved beforehand, so it's hard to prove that.
That's true. You're right, because they got to prove the exact content.
Yeah.
So that would be hard. But you could do it in a club. I'm thinking about doing it. I got Dallas coming up in a few weeks. But then you can't do it in a club. You know what I mean? Because then people got to come back the next day and get it.
Oh yeah. Who was doing that? There was a comic that was doing that. He was taping his shows, and then he says, "Look, if you want this live show, then you pay me, and then I'll mail it to you." And I heard he was doing really well with that. He was pretty known comic. I don't know if it's Carlos Mencia or somebody.
Maybe there's a way you could do it
like a long time ago.
There would have to be a certain degree of trust involved because
the
crowd would have to pay you, and then what you could do easily is you could tape the show, upload it, and send them a link.
Yeah, here's a link and just Venmo me.
Yeah, Venmo me.
And do it on the honor system.
That might be smart too. Or you have them Venmo. You go, if you want the show, take this card and email me, and you Venmo me, and I'll send you the link.
Yeah, you can do that.
That's workable.
Because people will be honest. They'll do that, because they come to see you and it's a personal thing. They're not going. Oh, it's not going to pay them.
I wonder if that'll
you'll do well. It's just like Louis C.K. Remember when he did his special years ago?
He still does that same type of format.
And he says, just donate or whatever.
All his stuff is sold from his website. Like everything he does is from his website. He's got a couple of series.
And I heard he did real well with it. When he first started doing it.
Yeah, well, he also Louis C.K. You know what I mean? So he got to a point where
he's known. Yeah,
like I put all that stuff on. Like my site has a paywall, and you can go in there and you can pay for certain things. And like you said, I don't have a ton of followers, but I have loyal followers.
Yeah.
And if it blows up, the structure's there.
Mm-hmm.
So if something goes well and I get a lot of followers and I get all these people that join. You know what I mean? And then they can join and buy content that way. Because Louis' setup is really smart. Because then he owns it all.
Yeah.
There's no third platform.
Exactly.
I was doing Patreon for a while, and they changed their payout system. and they changed the way they were charging guests and stuff, or your followers. And I canceled it, and I just set up a paywall on my website.
Yeah, I mean, people can do their own stuff. It's just like comic Country Wayne does these skits and does all stuff, does his own thing, puts it all together himself, and I already made like $20-something million and some crazy stuff.
Really?
But he wasn't doing. I don't know if he's probably doing theaters and maybe clubs now, but I don't think he was doing clubs before.
Right.
He was just doing these skits online, and they're like really good, really funny skits, and he had his whole machine going. And he was on Club Shay Shay. I didn't listen to the whole thing. I just listened to part of it. I have to listen to that. Actually, he was blueprinting how he did that. And he was hiring people, hiring family. He's got a whole staff. He's got all that. And he was doing it himself. He's not waiting on, we come from a generation. We still wait on to get discovered.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to get discovered in Hollywood. Do you have an agent? Instead of just doing it yourself. Now, YouTube's brand was broadcast yourself. So you broadcast yourself on YouTube, on all those other platforms, TikTok, whatever is going on, Instagram, and then if it ain't easy to do, but if you get it going and it's really big, you can do very well, and you're doing it your own. It's your stuff that you're doing,
right? You're owning the stuff. Well, that's why I do what I do. The thing is, though, I still got to do the ships to make money. What's this guy's name that was on Shay Shay?
Country Wayne.
Country Wayne.
He's out of Atlanta.
No, but that's smart, man. There's other people that have built platforms. There's there's YouTubers and TikTokers and stuff, but some YouTubers have built really good networks off a theme, and they built a whole industry off it. Yeah. I would love to just focus more on sketches and do a lot of that stuff, but I didn't have the time. I put a lot of time into it during COVID, and then tried to get it jump started. But my followers are still just in the thousands. I just can't crack a big 10,000 hit.
Yeah, but it'll happen because something will happen, and then boom, things go viral, and then
I put
you'll talk to Kevin Hart, he'll put you on, he'll tweet you, and next thing you know, all the people that follow him will take a look at you, and out of that, if you get 4% of that, you'll have 1 million people.
Well, he did like I do, because Keon Pulley out of L.A.
No,
he's a comic, but he does a lot of YouTube stuff. And I was talking to him about it. And he's successful. He does very well. But he still works in tours and stuff. And I asked him what happened. He goes, I just had a manuscript. And I put up 3 to 5 things a week, on all platforms. And he goes, just keep doing that. He goes, I can't explain to you. He goes, well, eventually one goes viral, and then everything else falls. Everything else follows. Because then they go back into your library. And like, oh, shit, this guy's got 400 videos or whatever. Yeah. And then they start digging through. And now those are getting hits. He goes, man, he had one. He goes, I have one that I shot 10 years ago that just went viral with like 2 million hits. Yeah. And last week, I go, how did that happen? I go, it's just because something happened. It was relevant. One person watched it. It blew up, and now it's viral. It's a hot video. But I shot that 10 years ago.
We all want to be a virus. Yeah. But there's a plus and a minus of this. If you get too famous, folks can show up at your house. Because you could be more famous in the protection you can have or where you can live.
Yeah, I guess that's the problem.
If you live where somebody can come right to your door, you're not in a gated community. It's like, I didn't want to go viral this fast.
That's a good point.
Take me off that site, Mr. Beast.
Whatever. I'm 60. I'll be dead soon anyway. Yeah, you know what I mean? They're gonna, I worry about my daughters being home because they live with me still. But they're getting older now. They're getting to the point where they're getting ready to move on. But yeah, I know what you're talking about, man. Well, you know what? We live in the valley. Well, we're in the valley. Where you at living?
Yeah. In the valley.
All right. Yeah. Dude, this is where a lot of those YouTubers live because my daughter works at a restaurant and she goes, these YouTubers, and it's funny, some come in, I don't know who they are. But my daughter's, oh my gosh, Trevor McDeal is here. I go, who's Trevor McDeal? Yeah. He's got 20 million followers on YouTube. He's the biggest whatever. And I go, I have no clue who this guy is.
Bring him over so we can do the podcast. See what else. If you go to other people's podcasts and go to yours, see everybody can circulate.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I got to figure that out.
So that should be what's happening. You find out who that guy. He's over. Well, I'll go over to his house and you do a skit with him, and he does a skit with you, and and then you get this whole thing going.
You get a crossover.
Because, I've said years ago that NBC, ABC, those they're losing power because people are broadcasting themselves. And people are just as entertained looking at Instagram than going to the theater and watching a movie.
Yeah.
And that was a big deal then. But now it's just, and they're actually, a lot of the news are getting footage from us. Something happens, they need our footage. Sure. We're right there.
Sure.
Before their cameras come. So.
Well, they're even shooting some commercials to look like they're shot on a phone now. Yeah. You see a lot of those?
I've seen some stuff
There's
like that.
There's a ton of those. Like, hi, fam. It's always like a girl for Maybelline.
I remember seeing some big fat chick. It was on. Did I piss off the fat people?
I lost all my fat followers.
Yeah. Was on some McDonald's commercial talking about McNuggets, and it was like she's doing her selfie cam.
Yeah, like, McNuggets are good. Really good. The one that's really popular now is the I'm trying to remember what's the one that replaces the windshields?
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
It's not that
something replaced.
Yeah,
not replaced.
It's got a jingle. Yeah, I can't remember the name of the company though. So, but it's these two
Bright light
guys.
replaced or something.
Yeah, it's these two guys that travel. They're driving around the country. And it's doing a video, and it shows like they're out doing their, but it's shot like the two guys on their phone. Is this State Farm? It's not State Farm. State Farm.
It sounds
something
like
close
that.
to that. Statewide, whatever.
Yeah.
State Farm.
State
State
Farm
Farm
Replace.
Yeah, right. I know the jingle. I just know the name of the company. So maybe they're dropping the ball somewhere.
Got to work on the beginning part of that jingle.
It's over. You're almost there. You're almost there.
I would have used your business, but I can't remember.
I can't remember the name of the company. That's hilarious.
Safe Light. I think it's Safe Light.
Oh, it could be Safe Light. That's it. It is Safe Light.
Repair. Safe Light repair. Safe Light replace.
See, by now you go to another company.
Yeah.
Just fucking Google someone else that does windshields. We'll find them.
Yeah. And then it's good that you're doing this because I'm the worst. And people say, "Are you on YouTube?" Man, I haven't put a post up since Obama's been in office. I got to do it. They said, "Well, show me some video." I said, "You can look at it, but I'm wearing like baggy jeans when they were in style." I was like, "Nah."
Baggy jeans.
I said, "No, let me record and start posting, putting some other stuff up." That's the thing, because I'm slow with that. So I hired somebody. They're gonna supposedly do this stuff for me. But more than likely, they will.
They find there's easier ways to, like I use Metricool now that Lucas Bone turned me on to, and it's a way that you can launch to all multiple platforms with one post.
Yeah, it is. There's another one I have that can do that too.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of it, and I'm not. I'm gonna look it up. I'm not.
I think they can't.
I never used it.
They can't do Twitter,
but it
or
does.
X or whatever, because Elon Musk makes life difficult for everyone.
There's Buffer. App called Buffer that does that too.
Okay.
And but I never set it up. But these next 2 years, ladies and gentlemen, I will set the stuff out. I'm gonna blast all my stuff out and give it to the world before I get hit by a truck or something. Because that's all you can do in life. Just pass the baton to the next relay racer, then I'm done.
Dude, it's easy once you figure it out. Like I taped, like the tapes I get. I got something in my eyes making me crazy. The tapes when I tape the shows, they come out great. They're good. The one I made a mistake this week. I didn't record the audio correctly, or the file got corrupt. Every once in a while, file gets corrupt. But I carry that mic with me, the Zoom mic. I wire myself, and then I just sync the video afterwards. It's a lot of work. You know, it is a lot of work. I spend all day on the laptop. You know, but if I keep putting them out, the plan is to get them out.
You're syncing the sound with the video, because I know sometimes you can. And I've done this before. It's not so easy. You can record sound on one track,
right,
and the video has sound too on another track, and you try to merge them.
Well, I do all my editing in Final Cut Pro, so I don't do it on my phone. Like a lot of guys do stuff on their phone. It works fine. If it works for them, that's cool. But I like Final Cut because I can go in there. If it's different tracks, I can mold them into one mono track, so it all comes together. I can balance the sound. I use the wires because my sound comes out fantastic. Then I sync it with the sound from the camera that gets the crowd sound, and then now it's not echoey. So, but it's also no shit. I've spent the last 4 years trying different ways. Going, that's not good. Oh, that's not good. And it's harder because you're on stage, so it's not like you do it for 2 minutes and go and contest it. The only way to test it is to tape a show.
Tape it.
So there've been plenty of times where I go, all right, man, let's see what I got. And I load everything up. I look, it's shit.
Yeah.
And then it's all gone. And I got to do
the sound is more important than the video.
Sound is more important than anything. It's number one.
The main thing, because you don't need to watch it. You can still hear it. But if you can see it and you can't hear it.
Right.
Yeah.
No, and it's off, if it's off center.
Karate movie.
Yeah.
Over here.
Or it's so echoey in the room. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's bad.
As long as they can hear it, it's cool. Even if it's kind of crude, people are cool. I've listened to stuff on YouTube and it'd be crude and whatever. And it's more authentic, actually.
Yeah.
As long as you can at least hear it. But if it's a little echo, your ears, it's weird how your ears adjust.
Right.
You don't have to have it perfect. Before, people used to tape shows. Oh, you got to wear the same outfit for the 3 shows and you edit it.
Right.
Now, it don't. It's just, I said, no, don't worry about it. As long as it's funny, it's funny. Just, you can have different outfits. It doesn't matter. And people looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, okay, now everybody's doing that. Different little clips and bits. Ain't nobody wearing the same stuff all the time.
Well, it's a different world now, man. But the way we watch stuff is different. Yeah. You know, we're cool with watching stuff from a phone. That's good quality. We're like, that's pretty good. You know what I mean?
And people even, we assume they minded then, but I don't think they minded then. The Blair Witch Project proved that.
Oh, that's a good point.
It was was that a high 8 camera and just holding a flashlight to their face and gigantic hit $1 million.
Well, that one was so cool too, though, because at the time you saw that in a movie theater. Yeah. So it came across even creepier because of that element. So I think that added to the creepiness of
because this is real. This is not a
Yeah.
Hollywood set.
The intent, and those also was in the early version of the reality stuff too, where you kind of get sucked into it. It was really well.
Yeah.
But then it also opened the door for a ton of the shit that we're doing now.
Yeah.
You know, so think about it. So, and people like look at some of the movies, some of these commercials and especially commercials. There's dozens and dozens of non-union commercials now out there.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of movies you see that are crap, and it's just because the people are just pumping out content like crazy.
Yeah.
But if you go into a movie theater and sit down and watch a whole movie, you're reminded how great it is to see a movie in a movie theater. Like, this is cool. This is an experience.
If you can do it without being on your phone. I mean, some people are just... and it's not just the young folks. Some people just have to be occupied with something else. There was a lady that came to my show, all 5 of them, and would knit in the front row the whole time. And she wasn't disturbing anybody because she was in the front row, so nobody could see it with me.
Right.
But I did have to bring, you're knitting my whole, ladies and gentlemen, can you stand up? I had to stand up and show what she was knitting. What are you knitting? I'm doing a sweater. I hope you're going to have me a sweater before the end of the cruise. This is how my name is spelled. Capital J, small e, capital R-O-M-E.
Right.
But yeah, the whole time. So some people, and I just understand that, she wasn't being rude because she came to every show.
Well, that knitting thing is something people do on ships a lot too. I run into that a lot. I've seen people knit at my show, but they were sitting in the back. I've never seen them sit up front.
Oh, right in the front. And there was a guy one time right in the front, and he was listening, laugh, ha, 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 and go back to his phone, la. And he was related to somebody that worked on the ship, so I didn't mess with him.
Right.
But he came to every show too.
Right.
And in between the laughs, he had to scroll. So I'm like, okay.
See, this is weird.
He's not distracting anybody because he wasn't, in the middle of the room or nothing. He was just right there. So I'm like, all right, well.
Well, clubs walk that fine line between you don't want them on their phone, but then you want them plugging social media saying they were at their club. You know what I mean? Yeah. And where I think the cruise lines, that's the line that they're kind of walking now, but it's not too bad because, it's getting tougher because the internet used to suck on the ships, and it's gotten to a point where it's gotten a lot better, like way better.
Yeah.
And it'll eventually get even greater. I mean, now you can stream, depending on the package you have and what line you're on. You can sit around and stream a whole movie and watch or upload videos and stuff.
It'll be okay. Yeah, you can watch the YouTube or whatever because the cruise lines have the Wi-Fi that works, and you can do it in your room and wherever you're at on the ship. So that's one thing that's good because sometimes, it would be like, oh, I don't get reception here. Well, I got to go on this side of the boat. But now it's just boom everywhere, and it's it's
Celebrity's
really
got this set up where you can sync. I'm sure other lines have it, but you can sync the big screen TV in your room with your phone. And stream. So I can stream Netflix and watch it on the big screen. And you just go to a menu setting, click, and it shows you, type in a code, bing, and you're there. If you got the package. If you got the streaming package or whatever. But it's amazing. I was in a Celebrity with my girlfriend last week, Diane. We watched 2 nights. We sat around just watching TV. I'm like, this is cool.
It only works when the bar is closed, though.
Or the casino.
Yeah, casino. Casino's closed, bar's closed. Okay, you can stream now.
The second the casino closes up, oh, look, the TVs are working.
Yeah, no, it's a glitch. What's going on here?
That's hilarious.
TV only works in the bar and the casino.
That seems weird. All right. So where are you off to next, man? Where are you heading next?
I am home for a few days.
Nice.
Where I will set up my podcast. No, I'll try to post. Well, I'll try to post some stuff when I'm home, and then I get on another ship. Let's see. I do. I haven't done any other cruise line since the pandemic because Carnival's loaded me up. So I just
that's good.
Done that,
dude. You're working, brother.
And I was like, I got to mix it up. I got too many eggs in that basket. They get mad at me, and I'm firing.
I never
like
all
my gigs.
I never like to have all my eggs in one basket.
Yeah,
but so if they're working you,
so
I mean, they got a lot of they got more work than anybody. They got tons of ships out here. 28, 30 ships or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's like 27 ships ongoing. I think they're adding a couple of this. So I'll do the Liberty, which is out of where we leave out of here, which is New Orleans.
Oh, no way.
New Orleans, yeah. So I do that in a couple of weeks, and then a few more carnivals like the Glory, the Legend, the Carnival, the Pride,
right,
and Legend, San Francisco. It's going to be the other one leaves out of Baltimore, and then I go to Europe for a few weeks. I usually go to Europe every year.
Really,
I didn't go last year, but this year I got to set some gigs up, and I'm gonna set some gigs up out there. It's funny. I was there one time and I was teaching music because I sing stuff too. I was teaching a guy how to sing in an American accent because it was in Amsterdam.
Oh,
So,
okay,
Could
really?
you teach me how to say my words like I'm not from Amsterdam? You know, I'm like, all right,
All right, man.
So I work with him on that. But so I'm gonna set a few gigs. I haven't set those gigs up yet, but I'm gonna be in Amsterdam probably a week, and then I float over to Paris and London for a few days.
Dude, that's so cool, man.
Yeah, because all that stuff is close. A lot of people don't know how close it is. Like you can actually, if you left early in the morning, you can go to Amsterdam, Belgium, Paris, and London all in the same day.
Right, yeah. It's like states.
And it doesn't cost much. You can go $20 on a bus, or $30 on a bus to go to Paris to Amsterdam.
Well, everybody does that train thing out there too. Everybody
you can do
trains
trains or buses or whatever, and there's Wi-Fi all the whole time. The trains run real well in Europe. It's just,
right.
My
daughter's
get that down.
My youngest is thinking about moving to Croatia. I think I talked to you about that.
Yeah,
which is right outside of where she's looking at, is right just south of Italy. So
yeah.
But do you do gigs over there? Are you gigging over there?
I'm going to set some gigs up because there's another comic, Jimmy De La Valle, that did some gigs there.
I know Jimmy.
And then I last few times I was there, I just did the singing stuff.
Okay.
Going to clubs or singing with some bands. But I'm going to set up some comedy gigs while I'm out there.
Dude,
and I have
love
friends there, really good friend that I've known on the ship, her and her husband, when they were married at the time for years, and hang out at her house.
Right.
Alette. Shout out to Alette Van Ertu. Yeah, she just says, come to I stay at my house in Amsterdam. You stay as long as you like and just enjoy, And she's like real cool. Just boom, stay in the house.
Dude, that's cool.
No problem. And then there's the Rotterdam Jazz Festival, which is from music from country to rock to pop to jazz, all that kind of stuff. And top names, even Prince and them used to hang out there. That jazz festival in Rotterdam outside of Amsterdam, and they do that every year. And if I can give a plug for anything, that's the place to be, because it's like 14 different stages, and you pay like $100 a day, and you go to once you get in there, all the concerts are free, and it's everybody there.
No way.
Usher. And
Where's
Herbie Hancock.
when is this? Is it the same time every
It's
year?
always it's the second weekend in July. I'm not going to do it this year, but I've done it a few times. But I do there, and a friend that lives there that I stay with in their place, her place. And then a good buddy, Shelly Reed, is his brother's a comedian too, Don Reed.
Okay.
Very funny comedian. He's really good friends with. He's done comedy for a long time, and TV. You name the TV shows, Robert Townsend stuff, and he produced Robert Townsend's plays and stuff. But Shelly Reed, I went to elementary school and junior high school with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he lives in Amsterdam, and then he's back and forth to Paris. So I'll visit him when I'm out there too, and all that. But a bit of trivia: me and Shelly were 7th grade. I was on the basketball team with the Hammer, MC Hammer, Stanley, and
who?
Yeah. So
MC Hammer.
Yeah, MC Hammer. So.
The real MC Hammer?
The real MC Hammer.
You played basketball with
MC
Hammer?
We were on the same basketball team in 7th grade. Hamilton Junior High School in Oakland.
No kidding. All right.
Yeah, because it was like, when his music started blowing up, even before he started doing the videos, it was just records. There wasn't many videos around yet.
Yeah, right.
And
that was early, right?
Yeah, and I remember and then I saw in a newspaper on Sunday, and it's like, MC Hammer, and I'm looking at Stanley. I'm like, yo.
His real name is Stanley.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, what's up, man? Stanley's the Hammer. Oh, you didn't know, man? Yo, he started doing. I said, when he started doing that? Well, in high school, he started doing those dances. That when he got out of high school, he started doing dances, started rapping. He got this whole thing. I was like, I said, man, if I didn't know he'd been a Hammer, I'd have stayed friends with him.
Yeah, right.
But he was always a smart guy. He was always a smart, enterprising guy. He's working for the A's. They made him like the honorary manager for the Oakland A's baseball team.
Right.
And we were like 12 years old with zits, and like Stanley's got a job, So he was always,
so he always found a way to succeed.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
dude, that's the greatest. That's kind of true, dude. All right.
But yeah,
his real name's Stanley.
Yeah, Stanley. Yeah. Stanley Burrell, and his brothers were his managers and stuff. So yeah, with Chris and we went to school with those guys, man. Back there in Oakland. Yeah.
Dude, that's kind of true.
Chris and Lewis is his brothers. Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the travel part of that is cool though. I like doing gigs. I've never done gigs over in Europe or anything. I would love to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And if you go like to Amsterdam, a lot of people speak English in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And then they love American talent. They love American talent, especially music. Amsterdam, and even in Paris.
Right.
There's not as many English speakers in Paris. Tourist areas is English speakers.
Right.
But there's much more in Amsterdam. And sometimes Paris, you should try to speak the language. It's always good to try to speak any
Sure,
language.
right, yeah, right.
Because Paris is like, why should we speak English? You should speak Francais.
Yeah.
So they are known to be they were never rude to me, but they had a reputation of sometimes they can be kind of a little bit rude if you're not trying to learn
making
that
an
language.
effort. Yeah.
You make some kind of effort, learn a few words. Bonjour,
Right.
comment allez-vous?
Well, you should when you travel too. Like at the very least, I got to learn Spanish. I got a program that I never watched. My youngest just because she's thinking about moving to Croatia. She signed up there's a university out of Croatia that you can take daily classes and it's for free and it's 45 minutes a day with programs and they'll teach you how to speak Croatian. So she started taking it today.
There's a lot of stuff on YouTube you can learn. Like I've been learning also.
Dude. That's the one I use. The Spanish is the two. What do you use?
On YouTube, there's a lot of people that will tutor you on that.
Right.
Because I learned there's a South African language called Xhosa from the Xhosa tribe. That's Mandela's tribe.
Okay.
And it's the clicks.
Yeah. All right.
So, like you would say doctors,
okay.
It's doctor, my click is slow. But there's a tongue twister they told me. Let's say the skunk rolls in the grasses, lousy, which is actually saying something.
Is it really?
Yeah.
See, I've seen the language before. First of all, I can't believe you can do it. I don't think I could click.
Yeah.
How do you? So that's your tongue, right?
Yeah. Like a doctor, like you put the tongue to the top of your roof of your mouth and click it.
Okay.
He's a doctor. So if you have a heart attack, but I always said, with that language, if you chew some gum, you're liable to get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
What did you say about my mother? What did you say about my mother?
That's hilarious.
I ain't saying I'm just doing.
Now you're doing the doctor thing.
Yeah. Ooh, now I need. That's good. Thanks for that. I'm going to have to use that. I'm going to put that on stage.
Dude, that's good. You should. That's real good. I guarantee you, no one's doing a bit about that language.
For real.
You want to talk about original.
And in some Zulu they have the click, but it's mainly the Xhosa, because Xhosa you got to suck the back of the cheeks.
Yeah,
because the X sound
do that.
And there's a sound that suck in like a earring is earring. People that speak real close, he's clicks, or he's got inferior clicks. He should have stronger clicks.
Look at you fucking cultured motherfucker. You. I could barely speak English.
Exactly. And there was this thing. I'm gonna see if I have it on it says you could speak. It's an easy way to speak Spanish is spell the word socks really fast. I think did I put it down?
S-O-C-K-S?
Yeah.
S-O-C-K-S.
S-O-C-K-S.
Oh, S-O-C-K-S.
It is, and I know what it is. Something like you're saying. S-O-C-K-S.
S-O-C-K-S.
Yeah, S-O-C-K-S. I saw something it was on Instagram that said, you can speak Spanish if you can spell socks really fast. S-O-C-K-S.
See, I got to kick on my Spanish studying. I spent so much time in Mexico. It's my favorite place to go in these ports. I love hanging out in Mexico. I love Mexican food. I was thinking about moving there, man. Thought about all that stuff.
Yeah, you can get some good deals in Mexico, man.
Yeah.
The food's really good. People are real cool, and
dude, the people
it's
are
a
great
lot
in
cheaper
Mexico.
living there. Than in the U.S. than most of the U.S.
And I always say, dude, I could live on rice and beans and tortillas for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
I could.
That's
I love
my
Mexican
main
food
because I don't hardly eat. I just eat fish.
Right.
No meat anymore.
Yeah, no
so
meat. I
main
noticed
is-
that, dude. Last couple
is-
days we've been
yeah.
eating.
Rice and beans, my main protein, then a bag of a bunch of vegetables. For all that's worth, and end up dying anyway. Say, damn, I should have been having hamburgers and pizza and ice cream every day.
What's wrong with them? No burger, no meat?
Yeah.
Jesus. You're going to kill yourself.
Let me see if I can find it. S-O-C-K-S. Let me put it because it actually says something. I know C is yes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yes, I am. And it is what it is.
S-O-C-K-S.
Let's see. S.
See, I don't have to say it fast. That's my problem is I try to talk as fast as I talk English. And I should just slow down. S-O-C-K-S.
C. K. K is what?
K is Y. What? K is what?
It
is
is.
why.
So yes, it is. It is. So yes, it is.
Okay.
S-O-C-K-S.
Okay.
So it just spells socks fast.
Okay.
See that, ladies and gentlemen? If you
Yeah.
spell socks fast, you're bilingual.
Yeah. And it means what? So it is what it is?
It is. So yes, it is.
It is. So yes, it is. So it's very zen on top of
Yeah.
that. Jeez.
Eso sí que es.
Yeah, now you're looking enlightened on top of being speaking Spanish. Yeah, if you just said that over and over ago, they would think you were a prophet.
Yeah,
You just
for
do
real.
that. Yeah, wow,
The Messiah.
he's here. Man, all right, let's wrap this up, brother.
All right.
This is good, dude. Thank you for coming over. Thanks for
Hey,
taking the long
anytime.
ride here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly. The 4 steps to get over here.
I almost didn't want to do it in here because of my sinuses. I was editing a video last week and I can hear me. I sound like, oh my god, I sound like I'm dying.
The funniest comment with the snot and boogers coming out of his
Yeah,
mouth.
it's great. It's fantastic. I'm snorting like a fucking like I have the. You know what I mean? It's my own language.
Everybody, I'm not on drugs. It's the room.
I can't listen to your podcast,
I'm
man.
getting
It's-
high on the cabin air.
Yeah, sounds like your cabin here. There's cabin here that's
Yeah.
probably been in this ship for 35 years.
Somebody
brother.
must be doing crystal meth in another cabin. Mm-mm.
All right, man. It was good to have you,
All
dude.
right.
Plug your shit.
Sure.
Go right to your camera. Tell me whatever you want to. Tell me
Yeah, well, Jerome, capital J, small E, capital ROME. Go to Jerome Comedy, and that should hit everything. I had a website, jeromecomedy.com, but the thing is down, and the guy that built it, make a short story long, he had this big old government contract, so he couldn't do mine anymore. But I got somebody rebuilding it, at least to go to that, to springboard to everything else. But the Facebook should be Jerome Comedy. If you go to that, it'll
Was it
it'll
Elon
hit.
Musk?
Or
Did you have
Jerome
Elon Musk
space
doing your
Jerome.
website?
Yeah, for real.
Elon-
Blew up like SpaceX.
No.
No, but
Did you see that? That's a great look. That's a great look when he's
So,
cutting back money.
Well, I don't have stuff put, and the YouTube is that too, but I don't have much stuff posted yet.
Yeah.
Old stuff, but there's some things up there. But I'm gonna put some new
Check
stuff.
it out.
So go to it and just wait and comment and say, Jerome, you're gonna put some new stuff up there. You telling jokes about President Taft? Oh, okay. I'll put some new
Hey, it's coming back around.
yeah.
Yeah, but you can see him on a ship, any of your Carnival ship. Come on out.
Yeah,
if you're watching
it's
your
Carnival ships.
You're a
and
Carnival
then
follower
If I'm
for
in
sure.
your town, you see my name, just one word, Jerome.
Yeah,
One man, one name, one mission.
that's it. All right, brother. Thank you, man.
All
Good
right,
man.
thank you.
You're still watching? That's amazing. Nobody does that. Nobody, but you did. That means you want more. Pick one of these clips. Go for it. I dare you. Hey, also follow one of those social media thingies. Hey guys, Lenny Schmidt here. Join me as I talk to artists from all over the world as I tour all over the world. Singers, dancers, writers, performers, actors, producers, tech guys, but mostly lots and lots and lots and lots of stand-up comics. I talk to people all over the world. I talk to all kinds of traveling entertainers, and we talk about what it's like to travel, what it's like to entertain for a living, where we came from, why we're here, what we're doing, why we're doing it, why you should watch, all that good stuff. It's interesting people from all over the world from different points of view. It's working class comics, stand-ups, writers, all kinds of stuff. Total Schmidt Show streams every Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Tune in, check it out every Tuesday. You can also catch it on all your podcast platforms. Sit back, enjoy the show.